I'm hurrying. Don't worry. Oh,
Aren't you in a good mood today?
I'm always in a good mood. Why not?
That's true. Why
Why
not?
not? Why not? Hello, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
How do I
Thank
say
you.
that to you? How do I say that to you in a different language?
Sal
Sal,
Mubarak.
Sal Mubarak. Sal Mubarak.
Sal is year. Mubarak is congratulations.
Sal Mubarak. When I see all of my Indian neighbors later, which I always do, Sal Mubarak. That's an easy one. That's easy to remember. S-A-L or S-O-L? S-A-L.
SAL.
Sal Mubarak.
Now, not all parts of India turn a new year.
Oh,
Crazy,
okay.
crazy.
Well, my friends Raj and Dami, who live right across the street, she posted a Happy New Year. So I know I can say Sal Mubarak to
The-
her.
So the Gujaratis, which are from the western part of India,
Mm-hmm.
they celebrate a new year. The rest
Mm-hmm.
of them, I don't know what calendar they follow. But we're at 2082. In case you want to flex your knowledge, we're at 2082.
2082, you're a little bit ahead of the rest of the world.
Just a tiny bit,
Did you
yeah.
do that on purpose, you Indian people? Did you do that on purpose to like
You know what? We must have started the count way early.
I wrote, you guys aren't counting years yet? Oh, hey, the Indians are counting years. We should probably get on that. What year are you guys at? We're not telling you. You've got to start fresh. Okay. Sal Mubarak. Sal Mubarak. My accent, can't get the accent yet. I will try though.
Don't worry about that. The fact that you know that much is flexing enough.
Sal Mubarak. Okay. M-U-B-A-R-K?
Mubark, yeah.
Okay. Good. It sounds like what a cow would say and what a dog would say. Mubarak. That's how I'm going to remember it. That's the Have you looked at the workshop? Have you looked at the slide deck that I made at 1 a.m?
Just like you only went to sleep at one.
I was
Um,
I, I was sitting here. I'm like, oh shoot, it's midnight. I should probably make that thing.
And I woke up, I'm like, oh my, I should probably read this.
Good. I'm glad you're embracing the way of.
I mean, working with you, I have to like learn to move with your vibe and your style.
Good. Good. Well, we have.
But I mean, you know, besides the number of applications you've written here, everything else is the way business should be run anyway. It's the norm, and many people are just ignoring the norm. So
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
way to start.
Interesting. Bev ran her workshop last night, had about 130 people show up to it, got 0 meetings, which is unreal. So something's wrong because 130 showed up, 70 stayed till the end, and she didn't get any meetings. So something's up. Her calendar link might not have been working. She didn't troubleshoot. She didn't test everything. I'm sure of it. She had people messaging her today saying I couldn't get in and stuff. So she lost out. Marina Marina's numbers were very impressive last night. Hold on, let me tell you her numbers. She had 58 registrations, 13 attend, 4 applications for meetings. So 4 appointments booked, and 1 person bought into her program.
She converted.
1 person converted. So Marina had a very different experience with a very smaller group, but she's getting it right. So she's just starting to get there. It's been a couple of months. We'll get you there as well.
I can't wait. I
Yeah.
can't, don't pay that guy anymore. And so
I know, but you're not getting dead leads anymore either, right? So
But there was
I
that
would like, I'd
there
like
was
you to,
that false hope.
oh, I know. But you know what? You can't put hope in the bank. I would like to run some ads. I would like for you to run some workshop ads, just a couple bucks a day for a week to get people in here.
Okay. And what are we doing with the people we already have?
So you've got your list. My recommendation was connecting with, I think we said, let's go with the law firms at first.
Right.
So you
There's
and
a
I,
lot of them who keep looking and they're probably interested.
yeah.
If I can get even one to connect per month,
All right. So let's do this.
we
Mon
really need to mine that list.
let's set up our time. Are you done with holidays and celebrating and everything this weekend?
Yep.
Good. You
I'm
people
sorry.
you people celebrate like nothing. Like get out. I want to
You know
celebrate
what it
like
was? You know what it is, right? The country was going through a lot of depression. And so the movies reflected, um, larger than life scenarios and beautiful locales. It was to take you away from your misery. And
yeah.
by integrating a lot of celebrations, it was, kind of diverting your attention from poverty and all that to the side. We continue still.
I didn't know this, so I'm happy to have received that lesson in history. It's very interesting to me. It's very interesting to me. Have you seen the temple that was built in, is it New Jersey or Virginia?
In my town. I live there.
What are you talking about? That
And I go there. So for my new year at 4:30, I was there. Because
are
when the first doors opened, it is a magical moment. So I was there at 4:30. I should send you the video.
are you telling me that this mammoth temple is in your town? I
Yes, yes.
am
That's why I moved here. I
I'm
mean,
not
one of
even
them.
listen, if I lived there, I would be going there for worship.
Yeah. Oh, what?
You know, like I am so aligned with your faith.
Oh,
Like
yeah, yeah. But like you said, you'd be going
I
there
w-
for.
I would go there for I would go to that temple. I would go there.
I
I'd be the
go
one.
there,
I would go
to,
there. If I lived near there, I would go there. If I did personally, like you
but
would
not
see
for
me there.
business, right? Not for
What?
business. Not for business.
For worship.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Yeah, I
We're
thought
on
you
the same
said,
page.
yeah, okay. I
I
thought you
think
said promotion, and I was like, wait,
no,
what?
no, 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 not for promotion, for worship. I wouldn't want to promote.
Yeah,
That'd be wrong. That would be wrong. No, I'd go there for worship and
yeah.
I'd be the white guy. I'd be the uncomfortable white guy there.
And I don't, no, it doesn't matter. Devotion is devotion. We were there at 4:30 and 5 o'clock, the curtains opened, and it is such a magical moment. There's only a few chosen ones that are there, like 100 or 200 people. But it is a very connecting moment. I sent you a little video. We did prayers inside, then outside, and the skies were still dark. It was still felt like midnight. And then
Oh,
a few minutes later, the sun came out and it's
oh,
gorgeous.
this video.
It was
Oh my God.
gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Wow. May I show you something that's near me?
Yes.
Check this out. This will be great. I hope people join while I'm showing you this. This is 10 miles from where I live.
Oh,
N-
I love it. Do you go there?
Oh yeah. Look at this. I wish I could make these pictures bigger. There's no way to make these pictures bigger. So like look at the size of that,
Gorgeous.
right? So this is about 10 miles. Oh, I think people are here. So I'll have to shut this down. Oh, look, but I'll shut this down right now. Look at that. That
Amazing. We
that
have one place like this as well near us. It's called 1,000 Buddhas, just like this.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Uh-oh. Somebody joined and then they stepped off. Their last name was Patel. They should have been they shouldn't have stepped off. Come back, Patel. Come back. Who was
Maybe they were
that?
too early. Maybe they were too early and we were still talking about other things. I don't know.
They're like, ooh, I should leave.
But I sent you two more. And so that was nighttime, like early morning, 4:35, prayers. And then the sun broke through and we had beautiful
Oh,
sunrise pictures as well.
oh my
And now
gosh.
I have a following. And so everybody writes to me saying, if you're going, take me. So I take a bunch of girls with me. And so I'm
I
starting a movement here.
I can't believe that this is near you. I I remember
It's
when
7 minutes from my house, and there was one of the draws. I was like, I need a water body near me, and I need a temple near me. Those were my two requirements.
wow. Well, you've impressed me today. You have
That's all I
really
needed to do.
that's it. That's it. Listen, I love this stuff. I see my neighbor Dami across the street. I see her come out in her elegant clothes and I drop everything. I'm like
Yeah,
I just she and her friends they all come out to go to their celebrations, but they are all done up like
we
you
yeah
are in these
we
pictures.
we deck up. I mean,
And she,
we
and
don't
she,
miss a single moment. Yeah,
the moment I see that, she knows I'm over there, and I'm like, show me everything, show me, turn around, show me all the stuff.
so
I
cute.
oh, I'm so magnetized to that. I'm so
Really,
magnetized to it.
you
Yeah,
must be an Indian in your past life.
gotta be.
I mean, so um in tune and aligned. Oh my God, that's if you like
Oh
this thing. I mean, I'm all over. So last night was our last festival. That's when the brother comes to the sister's house.
yeah.
Um, and so we had that last festival. Quite
Ah,
interesting.
that's so wonderful.
It's one of the shows. Yeah, so that was the last festival
Yeah,
yesterday. And
very nice.
then tomorrow is birthday, Sunday is another Diwali festival. In the evening is another birthday.
Wow.
My calendar is so packed. Oh, and not to forget hiking from 5 to 11 in the morning.
Well,
Thank
Sal Mubarak to you.
you.
All right, so we've got about, oh, I see people are here. Welcome aboard. Quick check of the clock. We got about 2 minutes and then we'll kick this thing off. We got a good one today. I saw that presentation you made. I'm
This
looking
is
forward to that.
exciting. This is very near and dear to my heart. Prior to me opening my own business, I used to work for, I started in my department, robotic process automation. And it was so interesting because in those days, this was a couple of years ago, in those days, knowing that robotic products like robots would take over your work or start helping you officiate work was a scary thought. People thought, well, now our jobs are going to go and all that. And we went around just trying to educate that this is not about jobs going away. This is about officiating you
Mm-hmm.
so that you have time to do other things that are more important. And it was a good run we had because, just to bring people up to speed and see the value of it was important.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm looking forward to that. I know in the presentation today, we're going to be talking about like efficiencies. I have so many automations running in my business right now that I think back to before I had them and how painful it was to have to do some of these repetitive tasks.
I remember, my dad used to own a business as well. And I remember the amount of things he had to do to just close a deal,
Yeah.
run to the post office, because we didn't have printers at home, get it printed, then go to the client, have that signed, have a photocopy of it, and then go to the bank. Like it was a process. And now everything is so efficient. You have DocuSign, you get them to sign, you're still sitting at your desk, you start the next process. Onboarding takes us less than 1 hour these days. And I remember how long it took my dad, and those days were different, and we've
Yeah.
come along. Yeah.
A long way. And it continues to improve even now. Can I share an embarrassing story with you before we get into the real stuff? And people are
Mm.
still joining in. Welcome aboard, everybody. Listen, you guys in the audience, don't listen to this because this is super embarrassing. So I'm just going to tell this to Mita. You guys don't listen to this. I'm wildly embarrassed by this. So I'm running a 7-figure business, right? My own personal business, 7-figure business, whatever. I don't know how I got there because a couple of years ago, one of the things I'm terrible at is meetings. I'm, I will admit, I'm horrible. Meetings get scheduled on my calendar, and for some reason, I have this weird mental block where I don't show up on these things. So a couple of years ago, Mita, I got meetings showing up on my calendar. People that literally want to hire me. They want to hire me. They want to work with me. They want to be in my masterminds. They're getting on my calendar to literally, please don't listen to this because this is embarrassing. I'm talking to them. They get on my calendar because they want to give me money to be a part of what I do. I don't even know the meetings are happening. And so then I'm getting these emails and they're like, hey, I scheduled a meeting with you, but you weren't there. This is embarrassing. So I set up automations. I was like, I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you dummy, you gotta fix this. So I set up these automations, and now it's so smooth, it's so effortless, and I haven't missed a meeting since. But boy, it was very embarrassing to be running a business and to have people wanting to hire you, and you're not showing up on these things. I hope
I agree. No,
I hope you don't think less of me. I fixed it, Mita.
you fixed it and you are ever so efficient now. I have so many clients who have this exact issue. They're like, I have meetings and people want to, they reach out to me on my instant messages. Then they write an email, and then I have people come in, and I just can't keep up. And sometimes it gets a lot, and that's what
Yeah.
we help with. We'll start automating for them so that everything gets on their calendar and they don't miss a single message.
I
But
don't want
welcome
people to
aboard,
think
everyone. Good
Yeah,
morning.
welcome aboard.
Happy
Nice, nice,
Friday.
nice to see everybody here. We have a very full room today.
We just
Pardon
started,
me.
yeah.
Listen, pardon me for starting that with an embarrassing story. I did fix. I'll tell you the automations that fixed it. I used Zapier, which is an automation tool. We'll talk about tools. We're going to talk about tools today. But I use Zapier, and when a new meeting appears on my calendar, the moment it appears on my calendar, I get a text message. So my phone buzzes and it says, name of the person, just scheduled a meeting with you. That alone was a game changer for me because now I had awareness that meetings were coming, that were happening. And then I now have automations that remind me about the meetings that are coming up. I don't want it to seem like I'm some goofball. I built a 7-figure business despite all of that, but now it just runs so smooth and I don't have to think about it. And I don't have to pay my 15-year-old to do it either, which is even better. All right, Mina, what did we do? We've just
All
spent
right,
4
let's
minutes
get this
chit chatting.
started.
Should we do this?
Let's start.
You know what, Mita, why don't you, I'm going to introduce you. And then I just realized that I sent you the presentation, but I want to be the one to present it. So I need a second to just get that up. I don't have an
In the
automation
meantime,
that did that. Mita, welcome aboard. Nice to see you. Nice to see you again this week. We do this every week. Here we are again. And more people
it's
like latch onto this bandwagon every week. I'm glad they're here. Mita, one of the things I love about you is how you simplify things. I wish I knew you the years ago when I needed this automation because you would have been my first call. I love the way you simplify everything and you lay it out in the simplest terms possible to help your clients maximize their efficiency. So great to see you again this week, Mita. Welcome.
And thank you, Chris, for joining me today. I mean, I love this. Every week we're bringing on a different topic, and Fridays 11 o'clock has now become my favorite time, I guess.
Yeah.
But thank you for walking this walk with me and talking this talk with me. It's so important that I have another person who's been so involved in technology for many, many years, work with me and talk with me, because it's one thing for me to say something, but if someone is from the outside and talking about the same industry rules and standards and all, it really does come together, and we get to give two sides of the information of a coin. But thank you, and very, very excited to be with you here today.
It's kind of neat. Maybe one day, because you and I are in different parts of the world, maybe one day you and I could be together and we could like deliver this together. I think that would be a huge event. Let's
And
figure out
then
a way to do.
we invite all our guests to be there as well. Maybe on a
Whoa, you
cruise, we
want to
should
do
just
that?
go on a cruise and
All right.
everybody gets to come with
You want
us.
to do it on a cruise,
Table that,
Mita?
table
You
that.
want to do this on a I live near a cruise port. This would be perfect. All right, everybody here, you heard it here first. Write it down. Mita has invited you to go on a cruise. Maybe I'll go along too. Ship shake. Okay, so Mita, today we're talking about business automation. Super, super hot topic, especially with now with AI, artificial intelligence that can assist us in our automations. The whole goal for me when I think about automations is how do we remove the repetitive tasks that can be automated so that they happen by the robots. We let the robots do them. I don't mean real robots, Mita. We don't have, they're not robots roaming around your building, but by the robots, by the software that can automate and do the things that it's just repetitive stuff that you're doing all the time. How do we find ways to do that so that this is the important point. I hope you take this away. So that it opens up your time to focus on the strategic stuff to build and grow your business so that you're not caught up in the weeds of just doing the same repetitive stuff over. And I think we've got 5 different areas of automation where we're literally broken this down step by step, how to automate these things and the tools you can use, Mita. So that's my favorite part of automation. What do you
It
think,
helps
Susan?
us to it helps us to streamline. I feel like, if you just put it to paper, it helps you to figure things out and understand that, hey, I'm doing this again and again. Let me just find a better way of doing it. And there's so many tools out there. If we just pay attention, we'll be able to find something and streamline better.
What I like to do whenever I'm talking about automation is help people find the minimum tool stack. Because with automation, you're going to be using multiple tools. For example, I'm using automation inside of my CRM, which is high level. I'm using Zapier for automation. So I've got to make sure those two things are talking to each other and doing things efficiently. We'll get to that in our conversation today. All right, I've got the presentation up. I don't know. I'm curious, you guys who are here. Let me make sure the chat's open. I think it is. In the chat or in the Q&A, and you can say it publicly or privately. Let me know. Yeah, I think you guys can chat. Let me just test it. I think you can. Yeah, thanks. Boy, they were there. Mita, they were there. Right? They were helping me out before I even had to ask for it. Who's using automation right now? Give me a 1 if you're using some level of automation, and give me a 2 if you're not. All right, I see it. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that very much. Nando. Oh, okay. So we've got, and then we've got some people who aren't using automation. So I'm going to make sure as we're talking today that both groups take a lot out of this. If you're using automation, I want you to see how you can enhance that. If you're not, I want to show you how you can dip your toes into the water. Does that make sense? All right. I kind of don't even want to do the slide deck, Mita. I kind of just like chatting with you on this, but I think the slide deck is going to keep us on track. So we're calling this thing how the most successful small medium businesses save time and rapidly grow with 5 critical automations. I want you to hold us to that. By the end of this, make sure that we've covered these 5 critical automations and you walk away from this knowing these automations and at least having the courage to say, yeah, I'm going to take a step into something. You agree with that, Mita?
Yeah, yeah, and we don't have to boil the ocean. We don't have to say, hey, start with everything and go buy new tools. We can work with whatever we have, right? So there are times when we can officiate, there are times we can buy new tools. We don't always need to have the most shiniest penny with us. You can make use of what you have and still run with it.
Yeah, good point. Great point. So we're going to start this by talking about the automation imperative. So when we say post-pandemic reality, we're talking about the pandemic that happened 5 years ago and that changed so much in business where we now have hybrid working environments, we have distributed working environments, we have environments where people are coming back to working in a consolidated space and all different versions of those. And that's when we say post-pandemic reality, it's the reality that businesses rapidly had to change and adapt to stay competitive. And so automation is one of the tools that helps companies do that. And so as you're thinking about this today, automation is just the letting of tools, software, and robots, electronic robots, save you time, reduce errors, and take care of the repetitive tasks that you would do over and over again. I deliver to my masterminds, Mita, I deliver weekly workshops. And these weekly workshops, some of them are 2 hours long, some of them are 1 hour long. All of these things get put into a content management system. And so they're recorded here on Zoom, much like we're recording this one today, and Zoom holds on to that recording. One of the things I noticed is that every single week, after every workshop, and I do 4 of them a week, after every single workshop, I'd have to go into Zoom, download the video, produce the video, upload it to Vimeo, and then put it into my content management system. Each video took about an hour and a half to do that. So 4 times that is about 6 hours a week. I found a way to, and guys, this is the point of this. It was a repetitive task. It's always the same. Log in, download latest video, bring it down, convert it to MP4, upload it to Vimeo, embed it in my content management system. Same exact task over and over again. Well, then kind of got smart on this. In 2001, I think it was about 4 years ago, I built a very simple automation with Zapier that anytime a new recording shows up in my Zoom, finds that recording, immediately moves it over to Vimeo, so doesn't download onto my machine anymore, titles it appropriately, and then next step, it embeds it in my learning management system, my content management system. All of those things together saved me 6 hours a week. That's 24 hours a month. What is that a year? 24 hours a month. A year is like almost 300 hours a year. Imagine if you had an extra 300 hours this year to strategize and grow your business. I don't know, Mita,
You
what would
see
you?
how much it freed you up, and now you can take on more clients, you can work with more people. And I have one of my best clients,
Mm,
she owns a cleaning company, and she values technology so much. She wanted us from day one. She's like, help me automate this, get my Zapier correct. She goes to Monday.com, Zapier,
mhm.
Jobber, and she gets clients from everywhere. And she was just inundated with all these, meeting notices that came through, and she wasn't able to keep up. And any one that you miss, you're missing a client, a lead that could have converted to becoming your client. And we helped her, and she's ever so efficient. Now she goes for government contracts because she knows her back end is taken care of, right?
Mhm.
And this is just a small example. We have larger clients that have batch programs that they run overnight. And before, they used to have someone working overnight offshore. So they have to make sure that offshore person was actually working. They'd
Mm.
have to make sure someone at night is monitoring. And then if something should go wrong, everybody's, being called, and there was a call routine that we had to follow. We help them automate all of that, because guess what? Now the bot understands, if this happens, go here. If this
Mhm.
happens, do this, And so half of the human error that was involved in automating is taken away. So much value in this process.
So guys, the point here is, it's not a should I, it's when am I going to? You
Exactly.
really should be moving into this space. And if you're already in this space, how can you even make it even more efficient? That's the imperative, because there's a cost associated with manual processes. So I just described to you how I gained 300 hours of productivity in my of freed up time, not having to handle these at least 4 meetings per week with processing of the videos. There was a cost to that manual work. And now I can use that time. I can use 6 hours a week. I can do a lot of damage with a Facebook ads campaign. So I use that time now for the stuff that can't be automated, which means no more lost revenue, no more risk that my eye is taken off of something. But even moreover, for you guys with compliance stuff, the accuracy that you can build into automations is going to make sure you stay within compliance. Not to
Exactly.
mention,
Human error.
yeah.
Human error. I mean, that is a huge one, right? We get tired, we hit the wrong key, and human error accounts for, 50% of errors that are missed every day. And the
And
cost is enormous.
for you guys with employees, your best employees don't like to do the repetitive stuff. Your best employees want you to tap into their brains and leverage the power of their brains. Your underperforming employees are very, very happy to do the manual repetitive stuff that doesn't require any thinking. Those aren't the people that are going to grow your business. So finding a way to automate stuff that your best employees don't want to do anymore, that's going to open up a whole new realm for your business. That's what I call a second order consequence, because now you can have,
Allowing them to be creative, right?
yeah,
Like we have to allow people to be creative, give them that space to grow, because we were never meant to be robots. We were
yeah,
meant to employ bots to work for us. We were never meant to be the bots here.
yeah. It's just freeing up people so that they can focus on strategy and growth. So let's talk about the 5 critical processes to automate first or next. If you're already doing automation, like Joe, like Nando, if you guys are already doing automation, these are the ones to make sure you're not missing. If you haven't started with your automations yet, these are the ones to think about starting with. These are going to have the highest impact on your business, deliver you the best ROI. My favorite meat is sales and marketing, contract, anything with sales and marketing, my absolute favorite, but contract management. This is, and I've laid out the steps here. If you want this slide deck, Mita is going to put her email address into the chat. Just send her an email and she will reply and she'll send you this slide deck. I don't want everybody sitting there having to write all this stuff down. And pardon me, I missed a line between steps 5 and 6. But if you want to start to automate your contract management through, this is part of your sales and marketing domain, then the first thing you're going to want to do is take a look at the entire life cycle from start to finish. And that's something that you can do. You want to sit with the people who are responsible for this. If you have sales and marketing individual departments, get them together. If you don't, if you just have a person that's handling sales and marketing, sit with them. If you don't have that and it's just you, that's fine. Sit down with yourself and get a piece of paper out. But what you want to do is from the moment a contract is realized all the way through when the signature happens, you want to identify what is that life cycle? What is every step, every email, every keystroke, every location that a document is stored, document change management. You want to identify every step. There's no detail too fine to skip. So you want to map that all out. You'll learn a lot about your business just by doing that. But
And we often do this with a lot of our clients. We'll have a mirror board and we'll start putting stickies on it and we'll start moving things around. Because once you visually start analyzing and seeing where the bottleneck is, immediately the answers will come through. But that process of sitting down and unpacking the whole process is time consuming, and sometimes you don't want to do the hard work. You don't want to do the heavy lifting in the back, but this is a good exercise to do. And I promise you, this will save you so much time just by putting this down on a piece of paper and just walking through the process. It's going to help you.
once you have that, then create standardization throughout the templates. So standardization just means you're using templates, and everything just has, it's almost like fill in the blank for these templates. And you want all of the variables to be super, super easy to fill out, because what you're going to do is that standardized template, that standardized contract is going to get fed into the system, and the automation is going to fill it out. And it's going to take care of all of that for you when you build it this way.
Exactly. You want to set up the automated approval workflows, right? You don't want to be sitting and monitoring. Yes, you want to be notified when a workflow is approved, but you don't want to be waiting on setting up that approval process, right? So set that approval workflow, route your contracts to the right stakeholders so that based on the contract, you get value out of whatever it is that you're moving forward. I also want to enforce that implementing e-signature is a game changer. Right? Instead of waiting and scanning and waiting for the other person to scan, and now the files are too large, just get an e-signature application, right? Integrate that into your contracts, and that becomes so seamless, moving everything along.
And then once you get that done, you want to just make sure that everybody is kept in the loop. So that means reminders sent out for the people who are paying on the contracts, reminders sent out to you or to your team or to Nancy in accounting, to make sure that people are keeping track of everything. You'll have an immediate uptick in revenue just by implementing something like this, because what gets focus grows. What you focus on grows. And if you're focused on making sure that all of this is happening, it's going to mean, like, how many of you have net 30, net 45, net 90 for how, when you get paid from people, just by keeping an eye on this, they're going to come in under net and you're going to see your profitability go up because you've got more working capital coming in. That's a whole different conversation. And then once you have that done, have a centralized repository so that everything is stored in one place, the latest version. How many times have you had to find a contract and you're not sure if it was the latest version? So let's make sure that we have all of that synchronized.
And we talked about this in our last couple of workshops as well. You want to make sure that you have a copy in one centralized place, but then you also want to make three different, 3, 2, 1 concept you want to follow. Make 3 copies, place it in 2 different places, and then have one place in a geographically different place so that you are not jeopardizing, right? One document in one place.
So some of the softwares that play into this, DocuSign, Panda, ContractWorks, Juro, Ironclad, these all are softwares that you can explore. You don't have to use all of these. In my business, we use DocuSign, and then all of the other automations happen inside of our CRM. So all of the workflows from the moment somebody says, yes, I want this, everything gets triggered inside of our CRM, and those emails go out with the contracts, and then DocuSign handles the rest. So just understand I'm giving you a list of softwares that you could explore here, but the reality is we want to keep this as simple as possible. So if you've got a CRM, you configure that to handle a lot of this.
Exactly. And talking about CRM, HubSpot is an amazing application. They've already started integrating AI in it. So anytime it understands something has come in, it'll go and find the contact that you're trying to collaborate with, and then will add it into your applications or CRM applications. So make use of HubSpot. It is a great tool. It has a lot of features in it. And if you don't know, we can sit down and just help you walk through a lot of the features. It's almost like having a BMW parked in your garage and you don't know half the features in it. So let's talk about HubSpot if you have that.
Good point.
For integration.
The next automation is going to be about customer experience. In my business, where I work with people, helping them grow their businesses, that's my whole business right now. What we refer to as success agency. It's making sure that the people you're working with are getting the results that you promised them when they hired you. That is a process that can largely be automated. So let me show you the steps for customer experience, customer engagement. First, identify all touch points. So how does your customer communicate with you? How do you communicate with them? And what I like to create is a mind map that shows from the very first touch all the way through them becoming a client and then making sure they're successful when they are a client. And remember, at the beginning of this, I tried to keep it a secret, but I think you all heard me. That was my biggest downfall early on, was customers were reaching out through touch points and I had no idea it was happening. And I was missing meetings and consequently missing opportunities. So this is everything from the forms that they fill out to if somebody reaches out to you through a messaging platform. A lot of my clients come to me through messaging through Meta, through LinkedIn, or through WhatsApp. So it's just making sure all of those things are mapped out so you know all of the inflow and outflow of these communications. And then we want to make sure those communications are all synchronized with each other. That's step 2, which are intelligent forms and intelligent ways so that when customers communicate with you, we're getting the right information in the right places. And before we talk about step 3, Mita, I will say this. One of the best things that I've done is creating automations that figure out a prospect's best way of communicating with me, whether they like WhatsApp, email, or if they prefer, say, Meta Messenger or some other form of messenger. My automations determine that, and then inside my CRM, my prospects are tagged in a way so that I always know the right way of communicating with them. So that's an important step too. Go ahead, Mita.
Because don't we understand that it's so hard to find a lead and a good lead? And once we find a good lead, it is so hard, like that. There's another, 10-step process in order to convert them. And if we all understand the cycle of how much work it takes to get them to convert, why would we miss any of these steps ahead of it, right? So important to put the work ahead of it in place and the work after it in place so that we can have all the time to concentrate on the lead, creating that one-on-one connection and then converting them.
I want
So
to, Mita, in
go ahead.
step 3 here, I want to actually share with them something they could do today that every single person here could do today. Can I do that, Mita? Can I
Yes,
break away
please.
from step 3? I want to share this with you. Step 3 is about creating something that like acknowledges them when they take an action, right? So let's say somebody inquires about your business. Acknowledge that you received the inquiry. I'm going to take you through my flow when somebody books a meeting with me. They go to my calendar and they select a time. What happens normally is somebody selects a time on your calendar and a little confirmation page comes up and says, great, you're booked. See you on October 31st at 9 a.m. or whatever. I have created an automation so that when somebody books a time with me, instead of the normal confirmation page, it brings them to a page that has video testimonials of what it's like to work with me. So someone's just booked an appointment to see if I can help them. The first thing they see once they've committed to that appointment is other people that I've helped. And then once they see that, now an automation fires off from my CRM, sends them a confirmation email with a meeting link, and says, here's a video from Chris on how to get ready for this meeting. And there's a link, brings them to another page. And it's just a video that I recorded once, but everybody who books a meeting with me sees this video. And it's like, hey, it's Chris. Thanks for booking that call with me. Here's how you're going to get the most out of this call. Show up on the call on a computer. Don't be at Wawa on your phone getting gas while we're on this meeting. Have a notepad ready to go because I'm going to share a lot of information with you. Come ready to learn. All of that kind of stuff. That creates a level of customer experience that your competition is not even thinking about right now. I guarantee you all have the tools to set something like that up today.
It's the attention to details. I tell you, it's the secret is in the sauce, right? You have to have understanding of where you're going to connect with, and these are some places that people drop the attention, right? You just send out the meeting, but what you've done is gone above and beyond and said, by the way, when you come, here's what I'd like you to do. And before that, here's what other people are saying about me. So you've educated them on how you'd like them to show up, right?
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
Why don't you take us through steps 4 and 5, Mina?
Yeah. So you want to configure the routine rules, right? Make sure that the rules are set in your mind and you're able to communicate that appropriately to your customers. You want to implement a centralized customer data repository. So it's not just enough to collect this information about the leads and all. You want to implement that. Remember, I talked about HubSpot. You may have Keep, you may have other data repositories, but make sure you're entering them because the last thing you want is someone was half interested and now you haven't saved their contact and you haven't kept the touch point with them and you've just lost that. So grow them. These are little seeds that we need to grow, right? So put them in your data repository.
Then, once we get this done, go ahead, Mina. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
We're going to go ahead and automate the follow-up sequences as well, right? So just putting them in is not enough. Again, you want to make sure you keep communicating with them, reminding them that you're here and we're going to bring value to whatever it is that they're looking for. And, understanding that is top of mind for us as well.
Let's revisit the meeting automation sequence, that I talked about earlier. Somebody books a meeting with me and they get all of this enrichment before the meeting, but we got to get them to show up on the meeting. If you guys out there have people that schedule meetings with you, it happened to me just this morning. I had a meeting scheduled for 9 o'clock. The chap didn't show up, but I have an automation that handles that. So he who booked a meeting with me, booked the meeting, got all of the nurturing, got a sequence of reminder emails all the way up until the actual meeting time that said our meeting is starting. You guys got reminders that this was starting up today, very similar. But this chap didn't show up for whatever reason, and we have to give people grace. It might have been an issue, a time zone issue, or an emergency came up, whatever. When a meeting time for me passes, so this meeting was at 9 a.m., at 9:15, I received an email from my automation that said, how did the meeting go with this person? And I open up that email and there's a link I can click. They showed up, they didn't show up. If I click the link, they didn't show up, they move into a new automation that tries to rebook them. So immediately this person got an email saying, hey, sorry, we missed our call today. Let's rebook. Here's a direct link to rebook. They will get an email a day for 3 days trying to recapture them. And it's that level of attention and follow-up that's going to make you more money in your business. All right. I'm a little excited about it, Mina, just a little bit. And then step 7, this is a bonus, but really nice to have. Build a dashboard to analyze response times, customer satisfaction, engagement patterns. So in my world, I have a dashboard that says, here's how many people booked meetings. Here's how many people showed up on meetings. Here's how many of those meetings turned into clients. My dashboard shows me that entire flow. Let's talk about some of the software. Go ahead.
No, to talk about the dashboard part, right? And not only for our clients. I think a dashboard is such a beautiful visual of anything that you're working on, right? Slicing and dicing your data is so utmost important at the moment, right? There was a time when we were only automating or, creating software. Then there came a time when we were only collecting data. Now it's time to slice and dice the data and then see it visually. If you're able to collect the data, but then not see it visually the way it's supposed to be displayed for you, then you're missing out once again, right? Having everything sitting in your backyard is no good. You want to make sure you're slicing it so that you see it flourish exactly how you want it.
Agreed. So
dashboard.
You guys, here's your step to take today on Friday. Go, if you have people that book calendar appointments with you, go to your calendar software and find the confirmation setting for what happens after somebody books. This would, whatever you use, it's going to be like the success message or whatever. Change it to have it send them to a page on your website that has testimonials. Get one, if you don't have any testimonials, call your favorite client and say, hey, could you write a paragraph about how awesome it is to work with me? Put that on a web page. And when they book a meeting with you, instead of the normal thanks, you're all set, have it redirect to that web page that says, here's what other people who had this meeting say about this meeting. It's going to do such amazing things for your meetings. Here's some of the software, Mita. You know this, you talked about HubSpot, but these are some of the softwares: HubSpot, Zendesk, Intercom, Freshdesk, ActiveCampaign. We could just keep going on and on here. I use Go High Level. I think you use Keep. There's just so many different pieces of software you could use here. If you want to start simple, starting simple, Zoho is a very simple one. HubSpot is very easy. Keep is very easy. High Level is a little bit more difficult to get into, but it definitely is very, very robust. But if somebody said, hey, what is the one thing I should start with today? I'd probably send you to HubSpot. I probably would. I think it's probably the most robust. You agree with that?
Yeah, yep. I recommend it very highly. A lot of our clients are already using HubSpot. It's so easy to integrate with other applications as well.
Hey, Mita, the next one, number 3. I know this one's going to be your favorite. You know how I know?
Yes, we do that a lot. We have a lot of tickets that come through and we capture the requests from emails. Every client, we have many, many clients, and every time also we manage services, and every time there's an issue, technology issue, if we're not on top of that, it may be critical and we may have missed it. And it's so important for us to capture every ticket and make sure it goes in our auto task, make sure we follow up and all the rest that follows. So number 3 is absolutely my favorite: leverage an automated ticketing system.
Yeah. Why don't you take us through this, Mita?
Align your system.
Yeah, the very first thing they want to do is get an idea of what the current support needs are for their IT. A lot of people don't have any sense for how much IT support they actually need. But it's, for a lot of people, it's daily. It's daily that they need support. So how would someone conduct an audit of their IT support needs?
So one of the things that we help with is we run an application in the back end to assess all your environment, and then come up with a report that tells you, here are the vulnerabilities, here's what you need for your system. Because you may have, and this was as early as yesterday, we had a client who thought she had an antivirus on her machine. We found 9 viruses on her machine because she had gone to Best Buy to buy some out-of-the-box software. But you may think you have the robust software. It's just good to have some IT company run their software and do an assessment and audit report for you, so you know you're on top of your game. The last thing you want is your tools giving up on you, right? There's one thing that your employees don't work or human errors happen, but if your tools give up on you, you're not going to be able to fly very high with that.
Totally.
Implement a portal, right? We want to make sure we're implementing a portal where there's a knowledge base and employees can find solutions to common problems. And then, of course, we talked about leveraging the automated ticketing system.
I think the portal is super important because it gives the business owner or the stakeholders a view into all of the things that are going on. I'm thinking about one of the clients that you work with who's a nonprofit, and this nonprofit has hundreds of employees. And with hundreds of employees, there are hundreds of problems that could show up on any one day. And the director that you work with, if I remember the story correctly, can't handle the inflow of my keyboard isn't working, or I have something weird happening on my computer, or is this email potentially dangerous? But by having a support system through a portal and giving the director visibility into that, they at a moment's notice can start their day saying, okay, here are all the problems. And if those problems are preventing people from doing their jobs and being effective, they can handle those things. That's different than I think my mouse isn't working versus I think I just clicked on a link in an email that might have caused a problem. So having a portal and an automated ticketing system is almost a critical to have for a business to get a real understanding of their IT needs.
And prior to where we are now, IT was seen as an expense to a company. It is no longer an expense. I think it's an investment. And the more you leverage technology, the more you'll be able to grow in leaps and bounds, because now you've automated, things are in place, there's a system in the back end, there's reporting that happens. So you get a clear snapshot view of every day how your wheels are working. Is it working efficiently?
What's also great about a system like this is it automates getting the right people solving the right problems. Because the last thing you want is, somebody who's adept in network management showing up trying to fix a photocopier that isn't working. I'm sure you've seen stuff like that before. So the long and the short of this is a system with a portal that automatically captures the IT needs, sometimes even before they happen, right? I know you've got systems like that, Mita, that capture, that would scan emails. And when a potential threat comes in through email, shuts down the email, creates the ticket without the user even knowing about it. Those are the kind of things that can save a business a lot of time and money.
I tell you, the three things that we're very, very good at is we're proactively monitoring, we have preventative measures, and we're responsive. We are responsive to the point where we take care of the entire problem, and then we'll come to you and be like, by the way, you had this issue and here's how we fixed it. So that's how having the right technologists by your side can help you.
Even for individuals with, who are single person organizations, need something like this if you're not a highly technical person, right? If you're like, you don't need this. If you're someone like, how to fix tech, you probably don't need something like this. But if you're not a technical person, and let's face it, technology changes so fast, it's hard to keep up with it all. Having something like this can really provide you with the assurance that you're not going to have a whole lot of downtime. And we know how costly downtime can be.
Every hour is so important. Every hour you could be generating income as opposed to just managing the back end, right? There's importance in this. There's value here.
We didn't include a list of software here because it's just too extensive and I didn't want to overwhelm. But in the chat, I just put Mita's calendar. If you want to brainstorm with her about how this could possibly work for you, not a sales call in disguise. I think, Mita, you just like to meet with people and help them out. You have that.
Just,
very
talking
generous
about it, breaking it down, understanding your workflow. There's no cost to that. It's just good to converse with other people who are in the industry and who know about it, right?
Yeah. I think but that's one of the things I love is you just want to help people out, and the people who need you, they know it. You don't have to you don't have to do any crazy sales or anything. So not a sales call
Yeah.
in disguise. I'll offer
No,
your calendar me to
yeah,
get on
thank
Mita's
you.
calendar and brainstorm with her.
Service at the heart of it all, right? For
That's true.
service first, technology next. That's how I like to roll here.
In this slide, I talk about employee onboarding, but this really could be termed any kind of onboarding. I have onboarding automations for new clients. So anytime somebody comes on as a new client, there's an automation that onboards them, gets them all set up inside of my learning management system, informs them of when the mastermind meetings are, tells them how they can get support, uh, gives them everything they need all through an automation. But if you're onboarding new employees, you would also think about an automation for that as well. So, like I think one of the themes that you're starting to see here is that you start by mapping it all out. What is your onboarding process for new employees or for new clients? And then you take that onboarding process and digitize it, create the digital assets. For me, it's a combination of documents, emails, and videos. So when someone comes on as a new client with me, they're directed to a video that says, hey, welcome aboard. Let me show you around. Here's the website to go to. Here's where to click to get this done. It saves me, and you can do the same thing with new employees. Welcome to the company. Here's how you get a hold of people. Here's where your email is. Here's where your EDMS is, your electronic document management system is. Here's here's where to park in the parking lot. Here's where the lunchroom is. Here's Nancy in accounting, who you're going to want to go talk to because she has been here forever. It's all of those little things, those little touch points that you could do for every new client or every new employee that you can turn into a flow and automate a welcome sequence that triggers when somebody gets hired or triggers when somebody makes their payment to you. And it feels very comprehensive because it takes care of everything, like in step 4, from security badges to here's where the bathrooms are on the 5th floor of the building. All of these things, once they start to come into place, frees you from the hours it would take and from the questions you would get from having to do this manually. Then,
Manage personnel issues, right?
yep.
That is such an important aspect of onboarding, because when you're new, you just want to figure out where you are and who should I talk to, which manager. There's so many managers, like think about corporate when you hire, in the big organizations, there's so many levels and you don't know who to go to and you don't want to step on anyone's toes. So important to just automate that process. And one of my most important things, Chris, is to make sure that you have that feedback, 30, 60-day, 90-day feedback,
Oh,
because
so important.
you are not going to improve a process if you're not getting the feedback. And we
Yeah.
miss this so often. We are so centered and so focused, laser focused on getting the right employee and getting the right things done, that we forget to ask them, how was your experience? Can I improve something? And it's through iterative, what do you call, changes in our style and improvements in the way we offer our services that we're going to retain and that we're going to get more clients, right? So important to just cross-check and say, hey, give me your feedback.
You know why people are hesitant to do 30, 60, 90 check-ins? They're afraid of getting negative feedback,
That is
but
true.
I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you this, do the 30, 60, 90 check-ins with new employees and with clients. When you get negative feedback, you immediately reverse it and turn it into a win for the client or for the employee, and then fix it in your business. And now the automation is having another second order benefit for you, which is it's fixing things in your business that you might have not seen. And that's
Overseen,
super
right?
important to do. We
Uh,
got to be able
you
to
know,
do that.
we do technical business review with all our clients, 3 months, 6 months, however they prefer to have it. But it is so interesting to see, I mean, hear the feedback that they give us, because half the things I would have missed because I have the technical team working on it and I'm working on my business, not in my business. When I hear the feedback, of course, it's hard to digest if it's not great feedback, but it comes back and we're ever so productive after we've met with the client and they've shared candid feedback. So I highly encourage you to go back and just get that feedback. It's very, very important in your process.
At a minimum, the easiest thing that you could do is create a welcome step-by-step document. If you want to be an overachiever, turn it into a video. Whether it's for a new employee or whether it's for a new customer. Boy, imagine if you welcomed all of your new customers with a video. It doesn't have to be personalized because that wouldn't be automated. But imagine if you could welcome all of your new customers with a video. How cool would that be? So here's some of the software: Bamboo, Workday, namely Rippling, Clear Company. There's lots of different softwares. I will tell you, because I don't have, our employees are fixed. We're not bringing in any new employees, but we can make it all happen through our CRM. My CRM high level, but if you're using HubSpot or Keep, you could do this with your CRM. Is just new employee, new client, set off a sequence of emails that direct them to the things they need. You might not need any of these.
Yeah, these workflows are already integrated in much of the CRM tools.
Yeah.
So just go back and start looking at that BMW and see all the features that it has.
Yep. So then next, invoice management automation. This is where we're making sure that we're getting paid for the work that we do. Again, start off by mapping the entire flow and how much time are you spending on invoice processing. Then we implement systems like OCR systems that can extract data from PDF images. Like, let's say you're receiving invoices or you're sending invoices that are PDFs. We want to be able to take this stuff and put it into the right software so that it's keeping track of this. So it's going to validate incoming invoices. It's going to validate outgoing invoices. It's going to match everything up to work you've done and invoices that you've created or things that you've purchased, and keeping track of that inside of your accounting system. And then if we're talking about paying invoices that are coming into your business, we need approval workflows. I've got horror stories of people who don't have approval processes, and fake invoices came in, and tons of opportunity for being scammed there. So having these approval workflows where you're sitting there, you get an alert, invoice came in, payment is about to be made, can you validate this? That will not only save you a bunch of headaches, it'll save you a bunch of time. And so then we want to go ahead, Mita. Yeah.
I was going to say, this is an important step that, yes, we automate, but please do make sure that you've checked the back end and you've approved the person you are automating.
Yeah.
Because we just had a phishing attack about 2 weeks ago where one of the clients had a vendor many years ago who had this link established, and then that person was able to remove money from his account. So when you have these automated steps set up, just do due diligence and check that, are these still valid? Are they still the people you want to do business with? Have you removed them? Cleaning house is as important as setting up house. So one more thing to make a note of.
I'm going to share your email address in one of the slides later, but Mita, could you paste your email address into the chat in case somebody wants to email you? So here's some recommended software: Bill.com, AvidXchange. Tipalti is what I use. Mineral Tree. QuickBooks, and I also use QuickBooks. So those are some of the softwares that you could be looking at. So those were the 5 fastest, most effective, highest ROI. But let's talk about best practices, what to automate first. So when you're doing this first, and I think I've tried to give you throughout our talk today, I tried to give you, things that you could start doing today. Mita, if you want to, it looks like you're not able to chat with everybody. If you want to just paste it in for me, I can pop it in for them.
Okay.
Sorry about that. That's a little technical glitch within Zoom. But I tried to give everybody steps that you could take today. And I'd love if you did some of those things, and let us know if you do. But also understand these things take time. I gave you things that you could do today, but there are also things that are going to take time to do, like onboarding is going to take time to do. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to take Mita's email address and pop it in here for you.
And to that, right? Onboarding takes time, but I say this to my children. I say this to everybody that I work with. Setting up the foundation is so important. If you get the foundation incorrect, you're going to have, keep spending time cleaning up or redoing it, or wasting time doing it again and again. Just put some time aside and do it with the right mindset, with a clear mindset, and then have the steps laid out correctly for you, so you don't have to revisit it again and again.
Yeah, Mina, these are some of the things that I've heard you say over and over again is just take your time, evaluate each system, find those things that you're just doing over and over again. And now that you have awareness of it, friends, as you start to find these repetitive tasks, you're going to go, oh my God, they're right. This is the thing that I just do over and over again, and I'm doing it the same exact way. Those are the things that we should be taking an automation first approach to. How can I let the machines handle this? And then create those step-by-step plans. And one of the things I'm most excited to share with everybody today is your automation audit. Mita, you've come up with the ultimate automation audit. Like this is like such big brain stuff. And if you could use this audit, we want to offer this audit to you for free. Um, I want you to think about how much more efficient you could get with a new level of automation. So what Mita, I mean, you can talk about this, you know better than I do, but your automation audit covers all of these things from where they are right now to the processes and the core functions, all the way to let's get ready to automate the things we can automate and then think about the future. These are all the things that they get in your automation
Ex
audit.
Exactly. And we again, like I said, we don't have to boil the ocean. Just pick one area that you're concerned about, and let's talk about it because there may be room for improvement or an automation or just remove a certain number of steps and the bottleneck is out. So
Yeah.
very, very important to just sit down and go through this automation audit. It'll be very, very helpful for your business.
I think so too. And I want to give people a way that they can get this, and real simple. Two different ways somebody can get this from you, completely free. I didn't put that in this slide, but completely free. And so your calendar link, which is in the chat right now, and your email. You could either just book a time on her calendar, or you could send her an email and get this ultimate automation audit so that you can understand what you should be working on right now. Any questions, send them over to Mita. There's her email address. It's already in the chat, but it's also on the screen. And if you want to get a hold of me, easiest way to do that is get a hold of me through Mita. Mita doesn't handle my calendar, but she's definitely
I'm now managing Chris's calendar as well.
No, you
But
are absolutely not managing. I have robots that do that. No, but if people
yes,
have
no,
questions for me,
you're
they
way
can.
ahead of all of us, and thank you, Chris. This is
Yeah,
so important. I love doing these workshops with you because
yeah.
there's so much to unpack. There's so much that
So
we
much
can
fun
talk
stuff.
about, and with diverse information coming in from where we are, we both have different experiences in life, and we bring that to the table, and it's so useful just to all our listeners to hear it from both sides and see what they can take away from this. Right? It's
I'm
important.
curious. I'm curious for the people who are here. What was your biggest takeaway from our time together today? What did you like? What was your what did you have an aha moment? Somebody says that they like I'm going to paraphrase, but they like the calendar automation. So I'm going to guess that means they like the sending people to a testimonial page
I
after.
think the
Thank you.
videos are great. That was a
Yeah,
great addition, right? Like I wouldn't have thought about, let me put video testimonial, but
yeah,
that's important.
yeah. Zapier, I've been meaning to implement for a while. Now I need to act. Well, you know what? Since you're here, I'm going to show you. Mita, can I do this? Can I show them my Zapier?
Let's
Can
do
I?
that.
All right. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna show my Zapier. So that you can see some of the automations I have running. You want to see that? I've got a meeting in 6 minutes, so we have enough time to do this. I'm going to delete this from the recording because I don't. So for the recording, we're stopping the recording now. Thanks for being with us. Farewell. Okay. I'll edit this out. Let me just log into my Zapier. I have Mita. I don't know if you know this or not, but I have a secret love affair with Zapier. I send it a Valentine's card every year because it is so powerful.
Important, yes.
It's made
Yeah.
such a big change. I'm just
We
lugging
work
it.
a lot with Zapier, and a lot of our clients work a lot with Zapier, so we are quite familiar with that as well.
All right. Now I'm in my Zapier. Let me show you some of my automations. Oh, I don't want to miss anything in the Q&A. Okay, we get somebody asking for videos and they're telling us what their biggest takeaways were. Videos, testimonial page, and the different automation tools you provided. Thank you very much for telling me that. Very nice. Okay, so here's my Zapier, and I'm going to go into my Zaps, and I'll just take you through what some of these things do. So you can see I've got, these are all my zaps. All of these zaps are doing things for me in my business to save me time. So, hey, Mita, look at this one. Tell Mita when a webinar. So when we're using my Zoom for this, but when somebody registers, I have an automation that tells Mita so that I don't get messages from her saying, did anybody register? When I get a new private client, it adds them to a Google Sheet. Share a new YouTube video on LinkedIn. So I release a new video on YouTube, it creates a post and puts it up on LinkedIn. Send me an SMS when I get a new meeting. So I get a text when I get a new meeting booked in my CRM. Create a LinkedIn post. I'm not using that one. That was not on. I run a monthly marketing automation club, and it will take people who register for that and puts them into my CRM, puts them into high level. If I run a survey, it puts it into Google Sheets for me. Notify me with an SMS when somebody subscribes to one of my communities inside high level. Let's see, some other cool ones in here. Facebook form. So this is a Facebook ad. I'm running a Facebook ad that has a lead magnet. When somebody fills out that form, I get an alert. What's another cool one? Zoom weekly video Q&A to Vimeo. This is the one I told you about earlier. This one is the one that saves me so much time. And look at this. It's just a two-step automation, friends. Whenever there's a new cloud recording in Zoom, it uploads it to Vimeo. That's it. Two-step automation inside of Zapier. All right. That was overwhelming. Mark, you okay? Did I overwhelm you? Start simple. Just start so simple. Like really
One or
simple.
two steps, right? Just start. I think starting the first step is the hardest part, right? And once you get that, you can walk the whole journey.
And you can start Zapier for free. They have a free version that will let you do like 75 processes per month. That's more than enough for people who are getting started.
Right.
So,
We don't need to.
Yeah.
We don't need to
I'm giving you
overwhelm
homework.
ourselves with so much. Good. Sorry.
No, you finish what you're saying, Mita.
Yeah, I just said we don't need to overwhelm ourselves. We're already overwhelmed with so much technology around us. There's no need to get one more that. So start small, use the free version, and then lift up if you need to. But this is good enough.
I'm giving Mark homework. Mark, report back to us. Go set up Zapier and get your first Zap going, and then send Mita an email, and then she'll message me because we don't have an automation for that. Wow. Well, Mita, what
answering to messages.
Another great
what
week,
a wonderful
Mita.
Workshop today.
We got it done, Mita. We got it done. So we'll see. We'll be back here. We'll see each other next week for another topic. Keep your eye on your emails for an invite to that one. And with that, Mita, I love to give you the last word.
Well, thank you, Chris. This was amazing as usual. I really love conversing with you. This flow of information is amazing. Thanks everyone for joining us every Friday. This is an important part of my day, important part of my week, actually, to lead up to these workshops. And thank you for staying with us and always being hungry for our knowledge. And I love to bring all this knowledge to you guys as well. Chris, awesome job as always. Thank you. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. See you next week.